was pouring rain outside when two girls knocked on my door asking for help. I wasn't going to bother with them, and I was about to turn them away when the blonde sneezed from the cold. Looking at them soaking wet and shivering, I figured I was being overly cautious, so I let them in to get out of the rain. As soon as they stepped inside, they took off their wet shoes so they wouldn't dirty the floor. They were polite and reserved, which made me feel like my earlier concerns were totally unnecessary. I grabbed a couple of towels from the bedroom for them to dry their hair and handed them a tablet so they could contact a friend to pick them up.
You're a lifesaver, Evan. Not everyone would just let total strangers into their house these days.
After checking their location, her face turned serious. They were supposed to be at a friend's party, but the driver had taken a wrong turn. Both their phones got ruined in the rain, so they couldn't reach anyone. I pulled out my phone and called them a ride, but we were so far out that it would take 45 minutes to arrive. Then the two girls whispered to each other and came up with a bold request. They wanted to take off their wet clothes and use my dryer.
Please.
It was a bit forward, but I agreed and offered them some bathrobes. As I turned around, I didn't notice them exchanging a meaningful look behind my back. By the time they came out in the bathrobes, I'd already made coffee and took their wet clothes to put in the dryer. Everything seemed normal. But just as I was loading the dryer, I heard a commotion from the other room. I rushed out to find they'd turned on my record player and were dancing around with my dog. Honestly, I was a little annoyed, but they showed no signs of holding back. When they found out I was home alone on Father's Day, they threw themselves at me for a comfort hug. Jenny even squeezed my arm and gave me a flirty compliment about how fit I was. It made me uncomfortable, so I immediately got up and moved to the couch across from her, putting some distance between us. But they weren't about to let up. Everything they said was loaded with innuendo. To avoid the awkwardness, I tried changing the subject, mentioning that my wife was an artist, and that all the decorations in the house were her designs. I wanted them to know I was a married man. They couldn't have cared less. In fact, they got even bolder. Not just with their words, but with casual touches here and there.
Oh my God.
I kept shifting around to dodge them and checked my phone still 20 minutes until the ride arrived. Seeing that I wasn't taking the bait, Jenny probably figured I was just shy. She excused herself to use the bathroom, clearly trying to give the other girl, Belle, a chance to be alone with me. The moment Jenny left, I hurried over to the record player, hoping the music would calm my nerves. But as soon as it started playing, Belle began swaying to the rhythm. My eyes drifted toward her without thinking, but I forced myself to keep it together. Then Belle grabbed my hand and playfully asked me to dance with her. I couldn't really say no to that kind of enthusiasm, so I reluctantly went along with it. As time passed, the tension kept building. Just when I was about to lose my composure, the phone rang.